Arthur Neville Chamberlain was born on March 18, 1869, and died on November 9, 1940, in Heckfield, England. Neville Chamberlain served his country with distinction for 25 years. He had risen from Lord Mayor of Birmingham to Prime Minister of England. Chamberlain's attempts to establish peaceful relations with Hitler and Mussolini through a policy of appeasement, an approach which many others supported, ended in bitter failure. Ultimately, England ended up totally involved in fighting World War II against the Axis powers.
In defiance of the Treaty of Versailles, Adolf Hitler began to rebuild the German military. He remilitarized the Rhineland with a series of defenses along the border of France.
With Britain unprepared to fight, Chamberlain agreed to Hitler's growing demands for land and military expansion. His policy of peace through appeasement was destined to fail.
On March 12, 1938, Hitler annexed Austria, marching over the border and occupying the country with a full-scale invasion. He then demanded Czechoslovakia surrender control of the Sudetenland. Once part of Germany, the Sudetenland was remapped as a territory in Czechoslovakia after World War I. Britain and France had to respond to Hitler's aggression, but they faced a difficult decision. Rather than risk another war with Germany, they signed the Munich Agreement, forcing Czechoslovakia to relinquish the Sudetenland to the Germans. In return, Hitler promised that this would be his last territorial demand. Britain's Prime Minister, Neville Chamberlain, felt appeasement of Hitler was a victory and received a hero's welcome when he arrived home.
We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again.
Neville Chamberlain's triumph was brief. 6 months later, Hitler's forces moved through Czechoslovakia and then turned towards Poland. World War II had begun.
The Battle of Britain is about to begin. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty. And so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
The stirring speeches of British Prime Minister Winston Churchill held England together during World War II, inspiring hope in people around the world. He met with Roosevelt in 1941 to draw up the Atlantic Charter. With Allied victory certain, the Big Three made far-reaching post-war decisions at the 1944 Yalta Conference. By war's end, Churchill was the most beloved Allied figure, but in Britain, public affection did not prevent the defeat of his party, and in 1945, he was voted out of office.